What's up, gamers? I recently reached level 80 and have been playing around with a few different builds here, but I think I've came up with one that's quite interesting and a lot of fun to play. So I'm going to show you guys exactly what it is here. We're going to break it up into a bunch of different timestamps, like skills, enchantments, gears, skill tree. Just check the timestamps below if you want a specific part of the build. It should be nice and separated for you. Please be sure to like this video for me. And subscribe if you are one, if you're a sorcerer, two, if you love Diablo, and three, if you just like my content, because we're doing things. All right, anyway, so first let's talk about skills. All right, so here are the skills I am using. Teleport, obviously. I have some things that go along with my teleport right now that are making it super awesome. I have the chest piece to pulls enemies in and stuns them, in combination with the enchantment. Makes all 4 of my evades also do the same exact thing. So messing around with this idea, it's a lot of fun. It's a pretty cool way to get in and get out of things and also get some additional crowd control, which is super awesome. I was previously using Fireball with my build, and after some testing, it wasn't doing anything. So I ended up trying out this for now. Still sticking with the ice shards, so we get those ricocheting ice shards when we freeze enemies, which is pretty dope. Then we've also got the Blizzard, and then Frost Nova, Ice Armor, Frostbolt, and Ice Shards. So that's kind of what we're working with here as far as the skills go. And like I said, the enchantments that I'm using are the Evade enchantment with the Teleport and the Ice Shards for the ricochets. So next thing we're going to talk about here real fast is my gear itself. I'm going to start from the helmet and go all the way down and explain why I have what I have. And everything, like I said, everything is subjective, more or less. Just doing things based off the gear that I have available. So we're gonna start with the helmet here. We've got cast ice armor, makes you unstoppable for 2 seconds. So this, in any situation where I don't have my teleport to get me out of any sort of crowd control, this will help with that. It pretty much acts as a trinket for all you WoW nerds out there that will get me out of any sort of root or stun or anything like that by utilizing my ice shield. So that's pretty awesome. We go down to we got the remnant of the infinite ancient or ancestral unique armor, and that's going to give us our teleport. I am using health gems in all of my armor sockets, except for my head. For some reason, I don't have one in there. But also, we've got Frostburn, which is a chance to freeze enemies for 2 seconds. Super good. Enemies that die while frozen have a chance to unleash Frost Novas. So Ice Heart, these are old, level 66, 14 levels old, but I really like these a lot. So more or less what happens if I Frost Nova one person, there's a chance that everyone else can chain reaction and Frost Nova as well, and it's really beneficial, super good. Now these boots here, I'm having a really hard time replacing these boots, okay? We got 3 ranks to Frost Nova, Teleport, and Ice Armor. I've seen all kinds of boots that might potentially be better, but currently for this build, I'm using the heck out of Frost Nova, Teleport, and Ice Armor. And it's just re-rolled movement speed on there is pretty much, and that gives us our 3 max evade charges, which is also a hard thing to replace because occasionally seems very rare that you get +2 charges on boots rather than some of the other base enchants that come on boots. Currently I'm working with a one-hander and a focus. Now I am an avid two-hander person, but another YouTuber I was watching the other day said that he thinks that a one-hander and a focus is better simply because we get that 15 if you look underneath attack speed there, you get that lucky hit chance. And then over here, you get the cooldown reduction. So between lucky hit chance and cooldown reduction, this build is very focused on lucky hit chance because we're looking for free casts of Blizzard and free casts of Ice Shards. So any additional lucky hit chance we could get is good. Now, if you run a two-hander staff, you're going to get 35% increased damage to crowd-controlled enemies. So that's kind of an interesting trade-off. You get lucky hit chance and cooldown reduction, or you get 35% additional damage. So I'm messing with it right now, back and forth. But we've also got the ice armor explodes ice spikes around us. We've got ice armor does ice spikes, and we've also got Blizzard does ice spikes. Now I don't really see a huge benefit to ice armor doing ice spikes because I do try to run. So I'll see a mob and I'll run past the group, and then I'll start blizzarding behind me, so they chase me through the dungeon more or less. So maybe it helps a little bit, but I'm looking to replace this at the moment. So we'll see what else comes up. For the necklace, we've got 53% maxed roll on that for more damage to frozen enemies. We've also got when you freeze enemies, they become vulnerable on a ring. And then we've got one additional avalanche key passive ability. So more or less, if our lucky hit chance procs a free cast to Blizzard, then we get 2 free casts of Blizzard each time. So a lot of the times I can cast 20 Blizzards and I never have to pay mana for it. So super awesome. Love it. Here's a quick rundown of my stats for those of you that are the number crunchers that I'm really trying to learn to be. We've got 135% overpower damage, vulnerable damage 122, and then we come down here, we got 338 cold damage, which is super nice. And that's pretty much about it. And then we get down here to our lucky hit chance, which is 30% currently, so that's pretty awesome. We got a lot of things that rely on lucky hit chance, so some things that, I already talked about the two-hander. Some things I do want to maybe replace. This helmet, I would like one that allows me to move through enemies, because a lot of times when I dash into a group to stun them and pull them in, I'll get stuck in the middle of them. So I don't really like that, getting stuck in the middle of them, because even if I try and dash out, I pull them with me still yet, and I'm still stuck. So if I don't have Frost Nova on cooldown and I can't melt that group instantly, that's, to be fair, that's what I thought Unstoppable was, but I also seen on a different piece of gear, it says let you move unhindered through enemies. So that's what I'm kind of looking for. Obviously looking for a big upgrade of these pants if I ever see these pants drop again. Really kind of curious if I just want to forget that this exists. Oh my Jesus. Forget that these boots existed and find some better boots. But man, those nine ranks into the skill tree are absolutely insane. I don't even have points in teleport right now, so teleport's just on me based off of this. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into the skill tree. Let's see here. So I haven't touched my skill tree. My skill tree is still pretty solid from the last time we talked about this. We got 1, 2, 3, and Frostbolt just to make our way down here. We don't do anything with core skill damage or core skills really at all. I mean, I don't even use it. So anyway, we go down here to ice shards, and we're taking the while you have a barrier active, ice shards treat enemies as if they were frozen. So we have a barrier uptime pretty much all the time. So these ice shards, although making them vulnerable is good, I don't really have any problems with making things vulnerable. So we're going to go ahead and take the barrier aspect there. Here I've got 2 points in teleport plus the 3 on the gear. So we got teleport there, and then we got the cooldown reduction, which is super nice. And I don't have anything in these last two. We've got 3% in the critical strike. Have a 15% chance to reset the cooldown of defensive skill. So a defensive skill would be, hold on, is this a defensive skill? Yeah, so our teleport, our ice armor, and our Frost Nova. All of these can actually be reset with a 15% chance with our lucky hit chance. That's actually at 30-something% or whatever it is. We have 1 piece or 1 point of glass cannon on a piece of our gear plus the 3. So we're dealing 24% increased damage, but we take 12% more rather than the base 9. So we are a little bit more squishy, which I've felt pretty well. Here we go with another 15% lucky hit chance. Then we come down here and we take Cold Front, Snap Freeze, and Icy Veins maxed out. Our Blizzard is also maxed out with just the 25% increased damage. I don't have Mage's Blizzard or Wizard's Blizzard. So yeah, that's all we've got for Blizzard, just one, the enhanced. We've got all 12 of these down here with additional 3 points on my gear as well. So that's pretty nice. And then this is the big thing for this build is Avalanche. So we're running around, we're casting a ton of Blizzards, and occasionally we got a 10% chance when we cast our skills to get more or less a freebie. So this is pretty much the way that I have my skills set up. Not a lot has changed since my last build video, but this is a lot more dialed in than the previous ones for sure. So real quick, if you're playing by yourself and you want to play with some people, the Glue Crew, man, shoot me a request to join in, and we'll get you in. We need more sweaty lifers, Diablo lifers. We got a lot of people in here, but you know, obviously they're not lifers because they're not online right now. Dragon Jade is. Shout out to Dragon Jade. Also, if you want to get next level involved, check the description for the Discord. And then we're going to start doing Diablo live streams every evening on YouTube here pretty soon. I'm trying to build up a little bit of an audience on TikTok right now. Got a lot of really cool people. Met a lot of really cool people on TikTok lives and stuff. So we might be kicking up some YouTube live streams here pretty soon. But now we're going to go ahead and get into our Paragon. So I've done some weird stuff with the Paragon today, man, but I like what I've done. I now have 4 boards. So we've got our Icefall, which gives us, anytime we kill a frozen enemy, we get a barrier. So that's where our barrier uptime comes from, because we're always killing frozen enemies. Super, super good. We've also got this legendary node up here, which is Cryomancy. It gives us more cold damage and chill application, so things go from chilled to frozen faster. We could go ahead and pick these up too if I had some additional points, which currently I don't, but we still have, you know, four Paragon points per level for another 20 levels, so we'll get, you know, quite a bit more to add to this as time goes on. But I believe I had 161 points when I started redoing this today. Big thing I wanted to focus on was I had found some new glyphs that I actually went over. And I believe this one over here. So this board here is the... I'm trying to remember exactly what it's called. It doesn't tell me what it's called. But it's the crowd control, or not crowd control. It's the very last board. Like I said, I don't remember what it is. It has a lot of non-physical damage, rare nodes on it. So I decided that's kind of what I wanted to do, was get more non-physical damage, which I'm assuming for us casters is just damage, right? So any increase to just plain damage is totally cool. So here is the glyph that I've located today that I'm actually playing around with right now, and I'm loving it. But we're currently getting 30% to our 28.5% to our master skill damage, which is Blizzard. So Blizzard now does like 29,000 damage per second or something like that, or just damage or whatever it is. But this is super good. And real quick for the nerds out there, I'll give you guys a quick breakdown of what of my scratch sheet here. So ignore these notes on the bottom. This is just for this video, so don't forget to talk about anything. So I went through on the main board, the Frigid Fate board, and the Icefall board, and I took each glyph slot, and I wanted to know how much intellect was available at a level 0 glyph and a level 15 glyph. So that's exactly what this is. On the main board, you know, we have 50 intellect available, 70 if, you know, it's a level 15 glyph because it widens out. Same thing with Dex, willpower. And if anybody's interested in this right here, you can go ahead and screenshot this or pause the video or something. And then I broke down, tried to break down, you know, each intellect glyph that requires intellect. So Elementalist requires 40 intellect. It gives you 5% increased damage plus 57% non-physical damage. I kind of went through these and picked out ones that I liked. All the ones that are based around willpower, that requires willpower to use, like this one here, they're all pretty much defensive ones, right? And I'm not to a point yet where I'm ready to incorporate any sort of survivability into the build, so it is lacking some survivability. But ultimately, I mean, I'm loving the way we've got this set up right now. We've got the control glyph that gives us 35.3% damage to crowd-controlled enemies. I had to go with the dexterity one because this is the only glyph. Your main board is the only one that has 25 dexterity in the base, like, level 0 glyph socket. So just a heads up. I don't know if that makes any sense, but for those of you that don't have a clue what the Paragon board even is, but more or less when you add a glyph in, you have to have 25 dexterity requirements at the bottom in order for the glyph to work correctly. So if you put one here and there was only 20 dexterity in this diamond, then you wouldn't get the full effect of the glyph, and you'd kind of be wasting your time. So that's why I kind of broke all that down in that notepad there. So I know which ones I wanted to put in which places, right? So we went with the control glyph down here. Up here we've got the Unleash glyph, which is also a new one I'm messing around with. After spending mana, this is still level 0 glyph right now. After spending 50 mana, you deal 7% increased damage and gain 7% increased mana regeneration. So pretty awesome. And then we also get additional vulnerable damage, which is nice, and we get 30% bonus to all the magical nodes in range. So I made sure that I put this one here specifically so that we would get additional increased vulnerable damage percentage right here because of the buff that comes along with this Unleash node. And then once we expand this, we're going to pick up this willpower. That's going to be additional 14 plus this vulnerable damage here. And then all of these up top if we want to go that route as well for cold resistance and more intelligence, stuff like that. So that's the one I found most beneficial to use for the Unleash glyph. And like I said, over here we've got the Adept one that's going to give our Blizzard a crap ton more damage, which is super cool. And it also increases the AoE size. So like the area of effect that the Blizzard does, it increases it by 20%. So I can see a difference in that. It makes it a lot larger. And then over here, I haven't made it to a glyph slot. I was just kind of trying to fill in, get to willpower, the requirement for another rare node. Yeah, perfect. Rowan wants a hug. Dad moment. You're weird. Go away. Love you. You want a Werther's? Okay, you can have a Werther's. Jesus. There you go. All right. Anyway, yeah, so that is the Paragon tree. We're going to run through a Nightmare tier like 25 dungeon, and I'll show you guys kind of what I do, the play style that I do, and show you kind of what it is live in action here. So let's go ahead and get into that. All right, we got Onyx Hold right here, right next to a portal, which is super, super convenient. Let's go do it. Let's try not to die, too. Try not to die for the video. We'll see how it goes. All right, so like I said, all of my dashes are also stuns and pull-ins, which is super, super cool. It's just fun to play around with. I would like to put together a lightning build, like a really strong lightning build that revolves around this whole dash stun pull-in thing. I think it would be really sweet. But I tried to build a fire build, and I did everything that I could to make it good, and it ended up just still sucking. It's unfortunate that fire sucks so bad. Very unfortunate. All right, so let's go in here and find us some goodies. We've got, oops, I tried to blink through the wall, but that didn't work. So I'm literally just going to run around here, and this is pretty important, I think, this build specifically, because you're not standing still, which is pretty nice. I haven't got any Blizzard procs yet for some reason. So in higher tier Nightmare dungeons, I've done 35 is the biggest one I've done with this build successfully. And you don't want to stand still. Having just the Ice Shard build is a little bit, a little bit sketch. If we can run around constantly. Drop a bunch of blizzards, run around, let them freeze, let them die, because they do die. And it ticks for roughly between 40 and 80k from what I've seen. See, now I'm out of dodge there. And then I can pull these guys in a little bit further this way. And we're just kind of bouncing all over the place, which is pretty nice. Little legendary action there. All right, so I'm going to pull in here, try and grab this, whatever it is. Okay, it's a conduit, easy peasy. Probably could have went without grabbing a conduit for the sake of the video, but hey, when you see conduits, you take conduits, you take them W's. You take them W's. That's this was a curse chest, that would be sick. All right, so let's go wipe this crowd over here. And see, now I'm stuck inside of them without dashing out. That's the one hot take from this build that I wish I could get better, is be able to run through enemies. Now, a lot of people supposedly are using some type of fire shield, and I tried to use fire shield. If you know let me know in the comments how the heck I make fire shield last a lot longer, because it only lasts for 2 seconds, which is not enough, right? And then we've got the ice armor lasts for 6, so it lasts for 2 seconds, and then it's like a 20-second cooldown. So if I can find a way around that, if there's like a legendary that's you know, a little bit more important that I need to obtain or something like that, then, you know, that would be awesome if you guys could let me know. Or if you've got any additional ideas, man, I love using people's comments in you know, episodic type form for more videos based around this. So if you got some more ideas, then let me know. Or if there's something you're trying that's working really well for this style of build, let me know. Let me know. So yeah, this is pretty much what I'm doing here. We're just gonna blizzard, run through them. We've got our, you know, mana shield coming up with the ice spikes, running through it. We've got ice spikes from our blizzard. We've got ice spikes from the mana shield. Like I said, I kind of want to get rid of the whole ice spike mana shield thing, but you know, for now it's working. And you can see the radius of our blizzard is quite a bit larger than normal, just because of that glyph that we took there. Oops. Imagine dying in a hardcore world from spikes in the ground. That would be terrible. So why can we not, why are we not... Hello? Oh, it didn't hit the lever all the way. Bro, come on. Oh my lord. Okay, I'll wait. Jesus Christ, dude. Damage over time from a freaking spike. Alright, we're going in. So normally the reason what I do with Frost Nova is I'll save Frost Nova for like a oh shit button. Because Frost Nova does a good job of saving my life if I need it, you know, in a pinch. So I'll try and save it when I can. I don't necessarily mean to just like walk in the room and hit Frost Nova, because you know, it's not really good practice, I guess. I'm running all the way around this crazy place. Burn him down real quick, and I'll show you guys what my plan is for bosses once we get there, because there's a pretty cool thing you can do with bosses with this build. And yeah, I'm just gonna have to show you. You're just gonna have to wait, or you can fast forward to that part, I guess, if you really wanted to. It'll just be easier to talk about it once I get there. So yeah, the whole goal of Blizzard is not to deal a ton of damage, but instead just to freeze everything. So you know, it's more or less like Frost Nova, but we got Frost Novas everywhere, and it's not an insta freeze, so we got to deal with that. But you know, it still works pretty good as a freeze. Alright, so we're working through these, and I absolutely hate these mobs too. These are not my favorite. These are not my favorite guys to fight either. These wraiths absolutely suck. Looking for one more lashing corpse. There we go, I found him. Oh, that's it. We didn't get to do a boss. Alright, well, what I'm going to tell you is, so a boss fight, at the very top, oops, at the very top of a boss fight bar, there is a thing called a stagger bar. You'll see it. If you've never seen it before, just look underneath the boss's health bar next time you're in there. And there's going to be a yellow bar underneath. Pretty much the way that you generate that is to continuously, attack them until the stagger bar fills up and they fall over, and you can do huge, stun, crowd control, enemy damage, stuff like that. But what I have found out is with my 5 teleports, for some reason, the electric shock damage or the teleport or whatever does quite a bit of stagger bar filling, more or less. So I can go in there and I go like this, and then like he's staggered already, which is nice because that's what you want. So I'm going to put these points into my adept glyph because I want that mastery skill damage to continue to go up, and I'm going to try and get this to level 15 because once this gets to level 15, if you didn't catch it on the first part, it's increased by the amount of intellect for every 5 intellect I have. So once this levels up, we're going to be able to pick up another 5 here, and then we're going to be able to pick up another 10 here, as well as 10 more here. And I think maybe that's it, but we're going to be able to pick up quite a bit more. It's going to jump up to 50-something% mastery skill damage. So pretty stoked about that. But thank you guys for watching, man. Appreciate you very much. Much love, and have fun playing Diablo, and hit me up in the guild if you ever want to run some. Let's get it. See ya.